Well, what a beautiful trade. Tesla, if you watched my last video, the low volume gap that we talked about in the last video, breaking down the entry, breaking down the reasoning behind the trade. Beautiful, beautiful follow through. This is what we love about trading, our analysis, taking a trade based off of it, trusting it, and seeing it work out, right? This is what keeps us coming back. A trade like this on Tesla. In today's video, I want to break down my entries, my exits, the overall performance of this trade, break down the chart, sort of break down why I held it and some of the reasoning behind it, not only because it was my ultimate goal to see 220, 217 on the play, but also the intraday moves, which kept me confident in the play. After we talk about Tesla, I have another trade that looks just like it. Similar analysis, low volume gap, very much potential downside, another great opportunity, which I am in right now, and I will share with you guys in today's video. We also have some live trading to go over, some live trades from today, so a pretty action-packed video. If you guys do enjoy the content, make sure to show your support, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So guys, on the screen here is Tesla, and I'm also going to pop up what this looked like a few days ago when we made that video on Tuesday. Once we broke that 240, we talked about this in the last video. I recommend you go watch that if you want to see the analysis behind the trade, the more in-depth analysis when I entered the position. Make sure to check that out. I will pop it up on the screen for you to see. Tesla, there was the low volume gap, the gold zone that's on your screen. We can see using the volume profile, we had this very clear trough in price action. We talked about that once price moves into this type of low volume area, it acts as a vacuum and it quickly moves lower. This is the type of stuff you want to spot. We can see this was a straight up move from back here in June, and it was a pretty much straight down move here over the last few days. I'll go ahead and pop up my entries, my exits. You'll see that the plays were up over 200%. My last exits up over 200%. So a beautiful, beautiful trade. This was part of the Desi Swing section in the Discord community where we first entered it. You guys can see right here. Entering next week, August 25th, 235 puts. This was it at the time. And so congratulations to you guys that took this with me. Maybe you took it after watching my YouTube video on Tuesday. Either way, well done. Beautiful, beautiful trade. Now, what I want to get in a little bit detail here is why I continue to hold and what kept me in the position. So I'm going to go down to the 5-minute chart, and we're going to look at the last 2 trading days. And what we can see here over the last 2 trading days is Tesla had no signs of making higher highs and higher lows, right? So when we take a trade like we did here, I mentioned this in the Tuesday video, which I do recommend you watch. You have to trust the play. You have to trust the analysis. You have to have your stop loss, and you cannot micromanage the position. No 5-minute, 10-minute upside can stop us out of the trade if it is under our stop loss, which in this trade was 240, right? As long as Tesla was under 240, I said I am staying in this position, and we cannot let something like this take us out of the trade. We cannot micromanage something if we are trading off of a longer term analysis, which in this case was the 4-hour chart. Again, talked about in the previous video, which I recommend you go watch. Now, what we can see here is we're gonna put in the previous day close. We're gonna look at the previous day close, and we're gonna look at what Tesla did over the last few days. So if we look at this previous day close, we can see that Tesla continued to reject the previous day close or even the previous day lows. It never found any strength over those previous lows, which kept me in this position. So we can see, let's go ahead and zoom in from Tuesday into Wednesday. So here's Tuesday and here's Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the extended hours so that we can see the close and the open. So here is about where Tesla closed on Tuesday, right? We can see we closed right around that 233 level, and we saw that we pushed into that 233, rejected this general area around 233, 233.50, and continued to the downside, right? So this never even concerned me, right? We have to make sure we don't micromanage that trade. Tesla, it did pop in the morning, but it didn't do anything significant. It didn't break above the previous lows. It didn't continue throughout the day. It never got even close to our stop at 240. You can see we popped up, weak pop, fail, and continuation the rest of the day, where you continue to see the downside come in. Now, we go to the next day, right? We look at this. We look at some of that previous rejection from the previous, or that previous support from the previous day around this 227, and we can see that Tesla popped into that previous low day. It rejected here in the pre-market, rejected, and today we open, we reject that 227, that previous low, and we break to the downside. We break to the downside, we pop up. Where do we reject? Previous day close, a perfect double bottom or double top at that previous day close, and a continuation to the downside. There was never, right? If you actually zoom out and you look at Tesla on a longer term analysis and you give it a, an emotionless look, if you're not emotional, if you're not scared about 5-minute candles, right? There was never a reason to exit this trade, and this was simply just a beautiful grind to the downside into our target of $217 a share. A beautiful trade, really nicely managed. Here's how you can sort of manage that intraday, right? If you are in a swing trade, watch the lows, watch the previous lows, see if they're rejecting, right? As long as you're staying under those previous day lows, the trade is still valid. Previous day lows, Tuesday lows, rejected on Wednesday. Wednesday lows, rejected on Thursday, right? And so you just continue to stair step to the downside, and you can see how this worked out. A beautiful trade. Once again, congratulations. Go ahead and watch that Tuesday video if you want to get more details on why I took this trade. Now, what maybe some of you are here for is the next trade that I've entered with the same type of analysis, and that is on Netflix. Netflix, we're going to go into the 4-hour chart, and we are going to look at the potentially exact same trade here. So I'm going to turn this back off so we make this a little bit cleaner. Let's go ahead and turn off that previous day close, and let's take a look at this chart. Let's delete everything. Let's delete it all. Let's do it from scratch. We'll do it live. F it. We'll do it live. So here's Netflix, right? This is the 4-hour chart over the last few days, over the last few weeks, last few months. We can see here on Netflix, we have had a very clean double bottom low around this 412 level right here, right? We can see this 412 level, a very clear double bottom right there, right? So 412, we have this double bottom right here and right here, right? Double bottom on Netflix. If we go to Tesla, look how similar this was. Tesla, here's your bottom. Here's your potential bottom. Here's another low. We broke below it. We continued through low volume gaps. Netflix, same thing, right? We can see the double bottom low at 412. Now, if we pull up the volume profile, which I'm actually going to do this on the daily chart, so I'm going to go out to the daily chart and I'm going to pull up the volume profile here, right? So we'll pull up volume profile, and we were going to look at where this low volume area is. You guys can see right here, volume profile. That shelf falls off at 412, which is that double bottom that we're referring to. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You guys can see there's your double bottom at 412. Here's your daily chart. And look at this area, right? Look at the area to the right. You guys can see this is our gold zone. This is our low volume gap, all here in this area. I'm going to go ahead and turn this yellow. I'm going to turn it gold to signify that low volume area. That is the same as Tesla, right? Same exact thing right there. Now, the support steps up very clearly at this previous high around this 370 level. So we can see, right? It is the same type of analysis, and for this reason, I am in this trade as well. We are in some Netflix next week, 405 puts. I'll go ahead and pop it up on the screen for you to see. You can see the analysis is very, very identical. Double bottom low on the daily chart at 412. We broke below it. You guys can see the target is here at that 370 level, right? And if we zoom in, we might be able to see a little bit of support step in, right around this 396. So I am a little bit concerned of that 396. That is potentially somewhere I'm watching for Netflix to hold up. Now, what happened today that caused me to take my entry? If we go to the 5-minute chart, actually, you know what? We're going to go to the 2-minute chart because I did take the entry on the 2-minute, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at what happened intraday today that made me feel confident to take my entry. So we can see here in the morning, Netflix broke below that 412 double bottom. That is right here. This was your 412 level. We broke below it. I started to see some very heavy action right under that 412. So I went ahead and I entered pretty early with the idea of holding a swing trade into that low volume area after seeing this heavy action under that 412 level. Later in the day, I was a little bit concerned that I would be stopped out of this trade, right? Because you guys can see we started to push back to the upside with the NASDAQ holding as well. So I was a little concerned that, okay, maybe Netflix isn't ready. I might get stopped out today, but I am still absolutely going to be watching this trade. I didn't get panicked on this push, right? Because my stop is at 412, right? And we can see we pushed up. We came right back into this little area of rejection from the morning, rejected it, and the rest is history, right? Downside the rest of the day. Nice little double top there around that 411, 412 level, which brings us back to that 4-hour chart. And you can see, right, there is our double bottom that rejected here on Netflix. So the trade is very much valid. You can see the low volume area here on the 4-hour chart. I'll go ahead and pop up that volume profile again for you. We can see the analysis is correct, right? And so at this point, we trust the trade. That's all we can do. We put our position in. We put an amount of size that we're comfortable with. We trust what the chart is showing us, and we do not micromanage the position. We stay in the puts as long as it's under 412. Of course, there is bounce risk on the market. There is always risk of this bouncing against us. But if it happens, we take our loss or we take our break-even trade, we move on. But we cannot shy away from the analysis, and the analysis remains correct, and it is the same exact look that we saw on Tesla here, the low volume gap under that double bottom, under 412, and that is the position that I'm currently in. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see what happens on the overall market. We saw a very nice downside move here on Netflix today, and now I want to break down the NASDAQ futures, which is also keeping me confident in this position. So here's the NASDAQ futures, right? And if we look at the NASDAQ futures, not only did Netflix fall through a low volume gap, the NASDAQ futures are in this low volume gap under the key 15,000 level. So today, NASDAQ, we knew 15,000 was a key level, right? We knew that was something we needed to watch. That came straight from our pre-market live stream. If we go to the 4-hour chart here on the NASDAQ futures, we can see how important this 15,000 level is. We have 15,000 demand here, 15,000 demand here, and 15,000 demand here early this week. If we go to the 5-minute chart, today, the NASDAQ pushed in the pre-market right back into this triple bottom low and rejected perfectly. I mean, it couldn't have gotten any cleaner. We have a pre-market push right into the triple bottom and a perfect rejection here this morning. That gives me a lot of confidence that we could continue to see downside on the tech stocks, continue to see downside on the market, that break and retest rejection of 15,000 back into that low volume area on the NASDAQ. And really, the next area of support here on the NASDAQ does not seem to come in until around this 14,250 area, which is right in this general area. This double bottom here, maybe you have a little bit of support at this triple top around this 14,680, but the real strong support looks to be down here. Either way, the 15,000 rejection on the NASDAQ today is what gave me confidence that we could see continuation to the downside on the overall tech market. That would obviously drive the Netflix price lower, giving me confidence in that Netflix put option play. So guys, I really do hope that you are at least learning something from the analysis that I'm providing here on the YouTube channel. I think this is some really high level analysis, some really good technicals, how to trade, how to structure trades, how to use technicals in your favor, how to really think about the whole trade idea, right? We're not just throwing money at the wall, hoping it sticks, hoping we're taking some of these random plays. These are well thought out trades with real technical analysis behind it. And I hope that you watching these videos can help you. If they do, make sure to press that like button, subscribe, and share these videos with some friends so we can continue to grow this channel. I'm going to go ahead and include some live trading now. I have a pretty nice live trade today from Amazon. We took a nice scalp off a break and retest of 136, a really nice little intraday setup. Figured I would throw that into the end of this video. So once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you're enjoying the content. If you are, subscribe, press the like button, share it with some of your friends that are trading as well, or some people that want to learn more about trading. I'm about to go ahead and insert the live trade at the end of this video. Make sure to go ahead and enjoy that, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Watching to see how weak this candle is on Amazon. Volume's really low on this push higher. Alright, I'm taking a starter on Amazon there. 136 puts. Break and retest of 136. Stop over 136. Just looking for a scalp. Yep. All right, taking a quarter off, a quarter of the position, 25% of the position off there, up to 11%. Possibly holding the lows, so be safe here. Make sure you're protecting yourself on a potential low a day hold. Yeah, you could try the Amazon or the Apple 177 rejections. You could. I mean, it's there. Potentially see if it rejects 177. I'm going to take a little bit more off of Amazon. I don't like how it's holding here with the NASDAQ moving lower, so just playing protective, taking a little bit more size off. All right, I'm going to take a next week Netflix. Next week Netflix 405 put. All right, Amazon just got nailed off that 136 again. That's very interesting. Amazon still looks good. Jimmy Neutron. Amazon, your time. There we go, baby. All right, a little bit more off Amazon there. Bang. Bang. All right, day's done. Beautiful. 136 rejections, Amazon, money.